Security estimates that child trafficking has an annual global profit of $150 billion.
You can't ever do that again. They'll pick you up here in a heartbeat. He was 10 days of getting his pension, and he goes down to Colombia to find this little girl. They did not want me for this role. Whoever it was at Fox, when Tim met with them, and he said, no, I gotta have this guy. This is who I want. So I met those three individuals, and that led us to go down to Colombia. And my wife just saw a movie or a show called Narcos, and she didn't want me anywhere near down there in this particular time when we were down there. It was crazy. And Tim said, well, tell Carrie, my wife, that Jim will have 30 Navy SEALs around him. Sure, some of them are Rangers and Delta too, but anyway. They always say SEAL teams. But anyway, one day I was at work. She gets on the phone. She calls me, and she goes, do you have protection around there? I said, oh, yeah. And I don't know, maybe only 2 today. Where are they? They told me. And well, in this particular moment, they were on a mission. They took down a really big group of guys, and they saved 200 children while we were filming. So it wasn't the safest place. At one point we were in cartel and area, and where we were shooting, I went to go get my sunglasses, and I had guys like you coming up to me and going, you can't ever do that again. They'll pick you up here in a heartbeat. And we were in their territory.
What part of Colombia were you in?
Bogota, Cartagena, Santa Marta, and then Medellin.
Oh, you did quite the tour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot about the film as it's not out yet, but it's about, from my understanding, it's about the life of Tim Ballard, what he's doing, and what he's doing is saving children all across the world from being sex trafficked, exploited sexually.
Yeah, so he CIA moves to Homeland Security, and the frustration is he's getting these pedophiles and these traffickers, but he's not able to save the children. That's what he really wants to do. They were down in Calexico, and where they took down the guy, Ernst Limpaczynski, the guy that had come in one of the worst trafficker pedophiles I've ever seen. And they picked this guy up, and this little boy, about 5 years old, and he says, will you save my sister? And that is a question. It's like a mark on his heart, and he couldn't. It's like the Bible where Jesus says the kingdom of heaven. It's like a pearl. He would sell everything, do anything to attain this. That's what he did. He went down to Colombia, sold his house to hit the money what he had out. And he was 10 days of getting his pension, and he goes down to Colombia to find this little girl. So it's like.
That's what Tim did?
Yeah, that's what he did.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's taken, the film, but with a huge heart,
So is the entire film in Colombia?
Yes. Well, I mean, we shot it parts in the U.S. and Calexico at the border.
Okay.
As well.
Let's talk about some facts.
Sure.
To go into sex trafficking. It's considered a modern form of slavery. The United States is the #1 consumer and producer of child abuse content. The Department of Homeland Security estimates that child trafficking has an annual global profit of $150 billion. Human trafficking has already passed the illegal arms trade and is going to pass the drug trade. About 2 million children are trafficked every year worldwide. That's how serious this is. That's just a few.
But that's just the
facts.
beginning of it all. I mean, the trafficking, it's first part to the public. You know, I've learned you get too far in front of the narrative, they don't believe you. If you were talking about trafficking around 290, when I was doing Monte Cristo, you never heard about it. And it'd be conspiracy theorists.
Do you think this is getting bigger, or do you think that the information is just getting out? Do you think, I guess what I'm asking, do you think it was always this?
I think it's much bigger.
You think
than
it's
that.
growing?
Oh, I think it's already bigger than that. I think it's much bigger because I've talked to Tim about the numbers from other guys and then gone over to Tim and goes, yeah, I mean, those are good numbers and everything, but it's bigger than that because there's other forms of the business.
This is just what we know.
Yes, on that part. I mean, it's, we've been talking about 6 million. 2 million at least are also involved in the organ harvesting and all the other shit that's the stuff that it's just beyond. They're cattle. These are cattle. It's like buying cows. What do you do with a cow? You know, you milk them, you do it, but you also eat the meat and all that other stuff. And it's far worse than people are willing to go to. But listen, it's not going to solve the problem by people. This is an analogy. I was swimming in the ocean. I got into swimming and everything, and on the Ridley Scott movie, and I swam, and it was kind of freeing, you know, breaking the surf and doing all that. But just that when you're, you know, I don't know how many hundreds of feet down or how deep you are, some great white shark looking at you and going, "Is that a seal? What is?" And I say, God, please tell them I'm a human then, or something they shouldn't mess with. But anyway, I just I would pray in the water, you know, just it's and of course the common sense in me is like, you know, you have a better chance of going down an airliner. But anyway, I went out and was filming in South Africa, and I got to dive great whites. It was fascinating. And every time we'd chum the water, and then we'd throw a tuna head out, and the great white would come by. He never just munched it, ever, never, not once. They always bumped. And so I guarantee you that if you were in the water and you got bumped by a great white, the guy said to me, "What do you think they're doing?" He says, "They have a little brain. Yours is bigger than theirs. You have to be smarter than them." And he says, "Yeah, but," I said, some of these fish, they're like whales. They're like 2 tons. And he says, "Do you think they went to school